Welcome back, everybody. Stoner Jesus Show on Skype. We have adult film star Ravenheart, Miss Ravenheart, on Twitter. Welcome to the show, Raven.
Hi.
Hey, a little bit of technical issues getting things going there, but hopefully everything stays okay. Skype is notorious for problems. I've used Skype for years, and it's given me problems for a long time. I've been kind of on a good technical streak here as of late. We'll see if that all crashes and burns today. So I know a little bit about your background. I saw some of your interview with Lisa Ann, and did a little bit of research. I don't do too much because I don't want to know a ton about the people I'm talking to. I want to find out about them during the conversation. But I know you've been in the adult business for quite a few years, and you started as a cam model way back when in the Stone Age, I guess, if you will, of the internet. So you tell us a little bit about what that was like being a cam model. 20 years ago when you started?
It was very different than it is now. I actually preferred it then, although it is convenient that you can do it now from the privacy of your home. Then you'd go to a place, and the place that I worked was a room that was all pink, with, like a pink bed, pink walls, and a keyboard on your bed, and then a monitor right in front of you, and you would just chat like that. The only thing is that I felt like the money was a little bit different the way that it was done. So you would get paid, like if you worked a certain amount of hours, you would get paid X amount of dollars. And then you were entitled to tips and stuff like that on top of that. Where now it's very different. Now it's all like a lot of companies do like these coin-based systems where you have, like 100 coins and you think, oh, I made $100, but really you made like $20. So it's a little different.
Was it like a cubicle type situation, or were there separate rooms? Like how much could you hear from other girls, and how close were you?
Well, each room was next to each other, but I didn't really hear too much. Like there wasn't too much distraction.
Okay. So you did that, and I guess you did that for a while. How did you make the transition into what you're currently doing, actual, full production adult films?
Well, after I did camming, I was an exotic dancer. And then after I was an exotic dancer, I became a dominatrix. And then I was a dancer for 5 years and then a dominatrix for about like 8. And I just so happened to, about a year, I started, my first adult scene was December of 2016. So I started at that time with a friend who I knew from the BDSM community who shot for a company named Brazzers. And he said, well, I had been thinking about it, and I talked to him about it. And he said, let me send your information to, the head people there and see, if they want to shoot you. So they said, yeah, we would love to shoot her. Let's book her for 2 scenes. And they did. And then I started in the adult industry, or the adult film industry.
Yeah. So when you were doing camming, was the technology ever to the point where you were able to do like cam to cam with other people?
No.
Okay. Sometimes there's a lot of, if you're looking at other people while you're doing cam to cam, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So I always want to make sure I ask about that.
Yeah, no, at that time there wasn't. Now, I mean, I have done some camming, and not, I've done some recently. And yeah, I have seen, I've done the cam to cam. So
over the last 20 years, you've seen obviously every aspect of the industry. What are some of the things, besides the money thing, what are some of the ways that things have changed in the past 20 years with the advent of the internet and the rise of the internet? And I guess a lot more people coming into the business, I would assume. How have things changed over the last 20 years?
I think you just said the internet. I mean, the internet has changed things significantly on social media. To be, on all of these different platforms that are available. Like, for example, like when I started as a dom, we would use the internet to advertise, on something called Eros Guide. And, you advertise, okay, I have my services available. But now there's so many other avenues to make money as a dominatrix. You can do the texting, and you can do, custom videos, and you can do, make your own videos and put them up on these clip sites. There's so many different ways now to do things. And also building a fan base is a lot easier than it used to be. Like when I was a dominatrix, early on, building a fan base was all through word of mouth and through, going out to clubs and meeting your slaves and things like that. Where now, you go on the internet and you post pictures, you do things, and you entice people by, getting followers on Instagram, on Twitter, etc. So it's really different than it used to be.
Yeah, the early days of the internet were really weird. I remember being me and myself and my best friend. We wanted to do a radio show, and it was like 2001. And our idea was do some radio and put it on the internet, and that'll be cool. But in 2001, of course, you had the 56K dial-up modem, and getting audio on the internet was almost impossible. It took for 3 minutes of audio, it took hours to upload it, and we never got it done because if there was a glitch or somebody called and it knocked you off the internet, and it was horrible. It wasn't until about 2006 that I found a site that hosted audio, and you were able to do that. When you were a dominatrix, what was some of the more common things that people requested?
I would say like the biggest was foot worship, leg worship, ass worship. And I think that it would also depend on the type of dominatrix that you were, because I was not known to be like the mean, like, I'm gonna kick your ass, like kind of, that wasn't me. I think I played the role more of like the kinky girlfriend than anything else. So that's what, that's primarily what I did. So like worship, teasing, anything sensual would be my top requested stuff. Not anything really super heavy.
Yeah, you weren't one of those people that were like beating somebody with like whips and chains and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, I can't say that I haven't beaten someone with a whip. However, I've never done it to drop, like, to the point where someone can't, like, no marks, basically.
Yeah. So now that you're in the adult industry, the films, the actual films, and you're working with a lot of people, what are some of your favorite people to work with?
Let's see. Well, I really enjoy working with most people. I find that a lot of people in the industry are really, really cool, very open-minded, and there are some who are better than others. But I'm just trying to think of who I've worked with that I really enjoyed. Well, I just had a scene come out, and I worked with a guy named Dredd. And it's just what came to my mind. And he
had a great name.
Yes, because he has a gigantic dick. But, despite that it's so gigantic, it was actually, I had fun, and he's a really great guy. But that's one out of many. I mean, I really like working with, most people. There's very few people that I didn't like to work with, so.
Okay. Well, obviously this is the Stoner Jesus show, and we love weed, and we love talking about weed. These are some of the questions I ask, everybody that comes on this show. Like, to start, when did you first try weed, and did you get high when you smoked it?
I smoked I think for the first time when I was like 15, and I got really high because I tried it from a blunt.
That'll do it.
Yeah. I got so high. And when I used to smoke back, like then early on, I didn't know the difference between sativa and indica. And plus, I don't think that it was that sophisticated for most people at that point in time either. It was like, oh, you have weed, that's great.
Yeah, whatever your dealer had is what you got.
Yes.
What about, do you have any favorite strains? I know you're out there in California, and there's a lot more access than a lot of people have. Do you have any favorite or go-to strains?
I would say, hands down, I smoke from I like a vape pen. That's my choice of, my method of choice. And my favorite is strawberry cough. That's like the best. So it's like a hybrid, but it's more sativa based. So that's usually my go-to.
Yeah. Yeah. If I ask you about the highest you've ever been, is there a specific instance that comes to mind? Would it be that first time, or was there another time subsequent to that you were just like, I'm super duper high. I'll always remember this.
I don't think that I can remember one specific
time. What about edibles? Do you is it something that you
okay, that's a good, there you go. Edibles. That's the highest I've ever been.
You remember doing anything crazy after edibles, or just, chilling?
No, so I went to the LA County Fair and I went with some friends of mine and my friend's husband. He's like, oh, because I have some food allergies, so I can't eat a lot of things that are in some of the edibles. So he's like, oh, they have this honey. And, why don't you dip the honey in apples? Like, okay. So I dipped the honey in the apples and I had a little more. And then they're like eating candy, like, and the honey and other stuff. And we're in the car, and all of a sudden it starts coming on, and we're at the LA County Fair, and it's hot as fuck. And we're walking around, and my friend's eating this gigantic corn dog. It was crazy. I was so high. And I think I was high for about 12 or 13 hours, and it would not stop. And then to top it off, in the end, we realized, well, my friend's husband looked at the bottle and it said that the honey was 3 times the strength. So that's why I got so high.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't like edibles.
So with the recreational being legal out there now in California, are
Mhm.
there any shops do you like to frequent? Is the access and the quality getting better with the advent of recreational legalization?
It's not actually, and that's really a bummer. I went when everything became legal. I went to a store, a different store, not the one that I typically go to. And I walked in, and she said that I couldn't come in because unless I had a card. Like my friend who was with me, like she couldn't come in either because well I had a card but she didn't. But you definitely needed a card, so nothing has changed as far as that goes. She said there's 2 locations in LA that you can just walk in and anybody can purchase anything, but those are not really that close to me.
Right.
So I still need my card, which is fine, but it's just not like what I think a lot of people thought it would be.
Yeah, I wrote an article recently about LA. They were a couple weeks behind even places like San Francisco and San Diego when it comes to actually opening up shops. But still, they got a long way to go. They're giving out, awarding the licenses and all that stuff. I know a lot of people have had to go to like Santa Ana and West Hollywood and places like that if they wanted recreational. So it's definitely a slow rollout, and I think it's been surprising to some people. People have been surprised about the taxes too. You look at that receipt, and there's some pretty massive taxes on what you're getting out there. But hopefully, it gets better. Do you have any what kind of any kind of future projects or anything that you want to promote while you're on here?
Let's see. Well, I'd love to promote my Instagram because my Instagram got hacked and I lost a bunch. I had a lot of followers and now I have 11.6 or 11.5K when I had like over 100,000. So that's pretty sad.
Wow.
So my Instagram is Miss Ravenheart 2, the number 2. Kind of like I see when I'm looking on the monitor, I do see you have my at Miss Ravenheart, which is my Twitter. So yeah, my Twitter is at Miss Ravenheart. I guess let's see what else. I have a new site that I'm doing auctions of my stuff. It's called My Sexy Auctions, and I have a profile on there, and I'm auctioning off all of my wardrobe and stuff from scenes that I know a lot of people want to purchase. Let's see what else. I have an OnlyFans page, which is Miss Ravenheart. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
What about like movies you've been in? Is there a great place to go to find all those?
Well, they're all different. So like each company has different stuff. But if anybody wants to buy like a particular movie or DVD from me directly, and have it autographed, you can always email me at raven@ravenheart.net. And I do sell, I also have a store. It's cammodelsstore.com/Ravenheart. And that also has things like that on there as well. So I have a calendar that I just came out with for 2018. And I've got 8x10s autographed and all kinds of different stuff like that on there as well.
Awesome. So before we let you go, is there anything you want to say to the fans or anybody that may be listening and watching?
That I love them. I love all my fans. They're all amazing. And they really cheer me up and brighten my day every morning when I go to, especially to my Twitter, and I see all their love and comments. It just warms me. It makes me feel, very, very loved and happy.
Awesome. Ravenheart, thank you for coming on the show. Anytime you want to come back on, you have anything to promote, just let us know. Let Lainey know. She'll get a hold of us. And hopefully a lot of people will see this video. And it'll be great. And they'll go check out your stuff.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Raven.
Okay.
Ravenheart, Miss Ravenheart on Twitter. Go check her out. Thanks to her for being on The Stoner Jesus Show.